Court is in session this afternoon as the Nulane investment trial continues. Now, for those who've forgotten, this matter revolves around a 24.9 million rand contract awarded to a Gupta-associated company between November 2011 and April 2012. Now, it's come to light that the Provincial Agriculture Department did not register a public-private partnership before paying over this 24 million rand to Nulane Investments. eNCA reporter Moloko Moloto is following those proceedings and joins us for the very latest. Let's cross over to him right now. You must allow me to apologize, Moloko, for me getting tongue-tied. It's these matters of corruption and the copious amounts of monies that are coming out to have been stolen over the last decade or so are quite worrying. What took place in today's court proceedings?
Well, Rafiwa Mazana, you explained it very well. This was a contract worth about 24.9 million rand awarded to Nulane Investments, a company linked to the Gupta family. It's actually owned by Iqbal Sharma, who is an associate of the Gupta family. So it was given that contract to do due diligence or a feasibility study, and we know that that contract was awarded without a bid or a tender being issued for competitive bidding. So it was advantaged in that regard. And of course, we now know that the work that they have done in terms of doing a feasibility study led to the establishment of a 280 million rand Estina dairy project also here in the Free State, which is also problematic and controversial in that that contract or the people involved in that particular contract are also before court in a separate courtroom in this Free State High Court, and one of them is the former agriculture MEC in this province, Mosebenzi Zwane. So today what transpired in court, you would recall that the state has lined up about 35 witnesses who are testifying on its behalf. Today we had the current head of the Agriculture Department, Dr. Takisi Masite. He has been in the employ of that provincial department for over 30 years. He's now at the apex. He is now the man who is in charge of everything administratively there. So he was basically bringing under the spotlight the 2004 supply chain management policy of the department. This is a procurement policy that advises or guides the officials of the department when it comes to the procurement of goods and services. Now, that particular policy states very clearly that all the bids, the contracts must be advertised so that people who have interest can bid, and equitably that can be procured from people who are qualified. However, it does make a provision that under circumstances of emergency or where there's an urgency, or if that particular service or goods is only provided by one particular service provider in the country, in that case you can actually go directly to that particular service provider and not issue out a tender. However, that policy states clearly that poor planning must not be regarded or must not be a reason for not issuing out a tender. Now, in court today, of course, that particular policy was presented in court today, and the lawyer for defense, Advocate Dan Mancha, then stood up to say that actually, while that particular supply chain management policy was adopted in 2004, it was invalidated by one Treasury regulation of 2005, which I can read, basically says that in specific cases, if it is impractical to issue out or a tender, the accounting officer can procure goods or services through other means. Now, Mancha is saying this 2005 regulation essentially invalidates that 2005 policy, and he wants to say that it is that particular Treasury regulation which the accounting officers that appointed Nulane Investments relied on. Of course, there's also the other issue of the search and seizure warrant which was issued by the magistrate, I think in 2020, for the members of the Hawks to go and search offices of the Agriculture Department, I think, as they were building up a case regarding this matter. Now, the defense is saying that the case number under which those Hawks officers managed to secure a search and seizure warrant is the case that has nothing to do with this particular Nulane transaction. Instead, they say that it is a case that relates to that eNCA project. And the twist here, Rofiwa, is that this state witness, Dr. Masite, who is now head of the Agriculture Department, is actually an accused in that eNCA dairy project, in that when it was concluded, he was, I think, the chief director responsible for the district. So it is that twist that now the defense is arguing that the police officers who came to get this Nulane documents through you as the head of the department, they actually came under false pretenses. So that's a matter when the court resumes tomorrow, because it has now agended 4 o'clock. The expectation is that those are some of the issues, the legality around the search and seizure of documents which may implicate some of the accused in this Nulane matter. It is certainly going to be argued as the trial progresses, Rafiwa.